gentlemen, how are we doing today? My name is Brendan Reviews, and as you can see, I got Haley back. I got Haley back at it with me. What the fuck? I got Haley back at it with me. I have been wanting to watch a certain horror movie for quite some time. I've heard a lot about it. It's called Skinamarink. I'm not your napkin.
Kinda seems like it.
What? What did you say? So guys,
where did you get a piece from?
I'm sorry, I hate to burst your bubble, but to set the mood, truly, lights off. Alright, so without further ado, this is Skinamarink, 1995.
Isn't that when you were born?
Do you think I am 28?
It's about.
So far it was just a lot of nothing.
Oh, they're doing a special thing.
All the cartoons that were in this were copyright free.
Cool.
Fucking asshole. Hey, somebody died.
People do every day.
You are just the bearer of good news, you know that?
Legos. So is this based on a true story?
No. They wake up. Did you not hear me when I said they wake up and all of a sudden the windows in their doors are fucking just gone?
That can happen, a tornado.
No, your house is completely intact, but your windows and doors are gone. Like I said, now they're replaced by a wall. They're trapped in their house.
Someone did construction.
I don't even know what to say to you right now.
Is there any real talking in this movie or no?
I don't think so.
Oh, I don't know if I'm gonna get through this then. You might want to restart the video. I can't do 2 hours of nothing.
No, I think there's gonna be something that goes on, just it's the first 10 minutes. I think this is one of those movies where it's like either you get it or you just don't get it. Like where it either works for you or it doesn't.
Well, it probably won't work for me.
Hour and 30 minutes ago.
I can't do this. If it keeps up like this, I'm serious, Brendan. I can't do this.
Skinamarink, kitty. Skinamarink, oh god. You sit the fuck down, young lady. Or old lady.
For anyone that has a short attention span, this is not it.
So you got a short attention span?
Mm-hmm.
No wonder you like TikTok so much. You fucking dweeb. So we obviously heard a car driving away earlier. I bet that was probably the dad who drove off. I mean, it's eerie, but I'm waiting for something to happen. Right now there's just a lot of, well, nothing. Must have been where a window used to be.
Construction.
Eerie tone. But I told you, the car driving away was their father. He's gone, like mine.
Oh,
Daddy Reviews.
why did you have to go?
Where's their mom?
Dead.
No, seriously, where's their mom?
I don't know. Whoa, that's a phone. I think they just tried to call 911.
This sucks. How many minutes has it been?
Almost 20. Hey, you just got...
If you can watch 20 minutes of nothing, this is your movie.
You mean an hour and 40 minutes of nothing? Well, who knows? Oh, yes.
I'm saying
Cartoons.
so far, it's been 20
No,
minutes.
let's watch some Shut up. I don't watch your cartoons. Shut your fucking mouth. I'm gonna watch my cartoons.
We don't even get to watch them, Brendan. Look
At least
at
I get
this.
to hear them. Yeah, you asked for music. Hey, that light looks like my... I have an outlet just like that. Whoa.
Not the nightlight.
Oh no. First casualty of the movie. The night light.
fact it's their mom.
Is it? The chair's upside down. The kids are as dumbfounded as us. Huh?
That's what happens when you have too many frosted mini wheats. That's sad.
Man. Whoa.
Doll.
That's the mom. Turned into a porcelain doll. Or a Barbie or
That
whatever.
was plastic.
Ah!
That's Kaylee's room.
Oh, all of the stuff is up on the ceiling.
That's a naked Barbie.
Up Joe a little bit. She just went, huh?
Who was that? When are they gonna accept the fact that Dad's not there?
They're kids, babe.
Yeah, who am I kidding? It's taken you how many years?
Look under the...
Someone here.
I don't know what to think. I don't know if, like, that was actually their mom and dad. Or if maybe that's a manifestation of their mom and dad. Like, as in, like, their spirit, maybe? And whatever's in the house just, like, killed their soul, maybe? I don't know. Man, this movie's really testing my patience. Seriously, it's been now 45 to 50 minutes, and the most we've gotten is some sounds of bone cracking, a few objects sticking to the ceiling, and a missing. I don't even know what the fuck is going on. Like, the kids picking up their mess, or is, like, whatever's inside of the house purposely messing with their shit. What the fuck? Hard to believe we've sat there like an hour. I mean, the most I'll say so far is that it has atmosphere, you know? Yeah, you are. Look at you.
It's hot in here.
No, I'm sure it's not just you? Oh, look at these. Look at that. Rawr.
You're crying.
I don't know.
Probably.
Just because someone tells you to do something doesn't mean you do it.
Maybe the demon did it. Just.
I don't know. God, why the fuck did they put that on the phone? Ugh. Kids. So stupid.
Kevin's just stuck in this fucking nightmare. Man, I'm just so confused. Faceless people? Maybe all the people that this demon's killed?
I'm assuming 911 never came.
Is it your... Oh! You know how that thing just kept repeating?
Yeah.
I think he's doomed to live. I think he's doomed to be killed by this demon over and over again.
I mean, it was creative, but it was...
You want my personal opinion? I love the concept. I love the atmosphere.
It just wasn't executed.
No, it was too fucking long. Tell me this wouldn't have been much better if it was a half-hour short horror film.
Yeah.
It would have been much better if it was a half-hour short horror film about two kids that are just being stalked in their house by
It's
a
just
demon.
too long. It just drags.
Drags. Like the first 45 minutes, there's like nothing to it. I get you gotta set up atmosphere, but fuck, man. That was tough to sit through. Ugh. There were a few really good jump scares. Like, fuck, that telephone one actually got me in a fucking jolt for a moment.
I did too.
I wasn't expecting that. That was good. And certain things are really creepy, like with him telling the kid, or the demon telling the kid, stick it in your eye, or I took your mouth, and the implication that this kid is
That presto changeo thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or the blood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, well, that was Skinamarink.
That was something.
Yeah, and I out of 10, what are you feeling?
A 4.
If I had to rate it out of 10, half of it I really like, and then there's half of it I'm like, fuck, just cut it from the film. I'm feeling a 5. It's okay. It's really one of those kinds of movies where if you don't get it, then it's not going to work for you. It
won't even work for you if you do get it and you can't sit through this, like, just doing nothing.
Like, unless you find the general concept of just, like, this liminal space type of horror,
Then
it's really not going to work in the long run. So, well, I guess without further ado, let's break it down. So guys, before I even get into the quality and production or anything for Skinamarink, I gotta mention one thing, and that is, while I was editing the reaction portion to this video, I couldn't help but notice the ending. Me and Haley both didn't see that. Now granted, we must have been tired by the end of the movie, but we both fucking didn't see that face at the end of the movie. Both of us didn't see it. So, after the fact, as I'm editing and I finally noticed that fucking face, yeah, needless to say, her and I were both horrified that we both didn't see it. It's like, how did we not see it? And to us, that makes the movie much scarier just by that alone, because how did we not notice that? It's clearly there. When I rewatched the version that we saw on Shudder, it's there. It's there from a minute and like 38 all the way up to the end. So I don't understand how we missed it. Anyways, guys, let's hop into the quality and production. So starting off with the quality and production of good old Skinamarink. It's got really good atmosphere, I'll tell you that. It's got a good atmosphere, and I like what it's going for. I like that it's trying to be this very, like, analog, liminal space type of horror movie. It's very subdued, and I feel like a lot of people can understand the feel that the movie is trying to replicate, and actually does replicate most of the time. The only issue that I have in terms of the filmmaking aspect of it is talking about the concept of stretching a plot too thin. And in my opinion, that's exactly what's going on with this movie, is I feel like everything is stretched so fucking far to a point where things just get ludicrous. I feel like there's so much of this movie that could have been cut out. And don't get me wrong, I understand that you gotta set up the atmosphere of the movie, and I know you gotta have those moments where everything is relaxed and chill, so that way when the moments of tension hit, they hit that much more. But at the same time, I just think that it was too little and too late. I think that the ending is much better than the first half of the movie, and it sucks that the first half of the movie is so hard to sit through, because it's automatically gonna make people hate this fucking movie going forward. And I don't think it's worthy of the hate. I just think that it's definitely worthy of a cut to at least make it about an hour and 10 minutes, hour and 15 minutes. I don't think it needs the extra hour, or I don't think it needs the extra half hour tacked onto it. So yeah, guys, overall for the quality and production, I'm feeling a 1.5 out of 2. Decently well made, just one critical flaw to the whole thing. Moving on to the realism. So granted, we gotta think about how realistic this movie is in terms of, like, A, what's going on in the movie, and B, the feel that it's going for. So first off, in my opinion, I think it's very realistic in capturing that feel of like late night staying up watching the television, and like capturing almost like a nostalgic bittersweet feel that has a bit of like a scary underside to it. I think it does a really good job of capturing that feel, and overall does a really good job of presenting that feel to the audience. Now moving on with talking about like what goes on in the movie, and that is, you know, these kids, they wake up and all of a sudden their parents are gone and there's demons inside of the house. And as kids, right, these kids don't know what's going on, and I think it's a decent, accurate representation of what kids would do almost in a similar situation like that. Granted, I don't think a kid would stab his own fucking eye out, but I do think that a kid, like, in these times where their parents would be gone or whatever, or when things would typically be going wrong for most people, they would just sit down, wait for adults to arrive, watch some cartoons, and just let time pass by until they actually need to step up and take accountability for their actions and all that stuff. And I think that overall the movie does a really good job of representing youthful innocence while at the same time being undertaken by a demonic presence. And I think that it's really good in that regard and very realistic. It just sucks that there are certain moments that make me think these kids are not as smart or not what normal kids would do. And I'm not talking about the fact that like they're wandering up the stairs checking out for their mom and dad when clearly their mom and dad is gone. Most kids would do that. I'm talking about I don't buy how a kid would fucking stab their eye out. I don't buy how like these kids wouldn't be freaked out when they're seeing chairs and their toys up on the ceiling and they didn't do that. I would be freaked out too, but at the same time I also understand the innocence of it, like, that's just weird. Yeah, overall I think it's decently realistic, but I still don't think it's the most realistic movie I've ever seen. So I think that I'm gonna overall, for the realism, I'm gonna give it a 1.25 out of 2. Moving on to the gore score. So there is some definite violence in this movie, but it's not like you see the violence, which definitely plays more into the psychological horror of the whole event. It does a good job of setting up paranoia, especially for our children that are in the movie and for us, the audience, just witnessing this whole thing go down. The entire movie is filmed almost like from a kid's perspective, so you don't really get a chance to step away from that POV. You're always looking up at whatever's going on inside of the movie, and it makes for a much more like authentic experience watching the movie. Overall, I think that the movie does a good job with its psychological horror. The demon that's just in the background just telling them, go to sleep. What the fuck is this thing? It's really scary. And then when we barely see it at the end, holy shit, when we barely see it at the end, and you can make out what kind of looks like almost like this faceless creature, but it's almost like a Slender Man, if you would, but it's so creepy. And just, I think overall it's a great representation of paranoia. I'm thinking I'm gonna give it a 1.75 out of 2. I guess the only real thing that I have is that some stuff does drag and does take away from the tension overall, but yeah. That's that. Moving on to the creep factor. So this is a very hard one to talk about because on one end you got a movie that's very hard to sit through. If this movie doesn't fucking work for you, it's never going to work for you. But on the other end, when you look at what it's trying to be, what it's going for, it all of a sudden starts to connect. All the synapses in the brain just start to go, and you're like, whoa, what the fuck? And you sit there watching this movie, and all of a sudden you start to feel like you're a part of it. You start to feel all the creepiness that these characters are being just put into, and you really feel the dread. You really feel the dread of it all. Biggest thing that is worth mentioning here is just, it's children. These children are being messed with by a demon that has taken away any windows and doors, any access to the outside world, even took away the fucking toilet, for God's sakes. And it's scary. It is so scary to imagine that these children are just being messed with by this demon. What really does make this more scary than some other videos and movies and stuff that we've seen on Scariest media is just the way that it builds up its dread, and the fact that by the end of the movie, with very cryptic details like the 572 days, you're beginning to be able to put together pieces showing that this kid, Kevin and Kaylee, they are doomed to repeat this cycle of whatever the hell this is, this demon fucking with them. They are doomed to be killed by this demon for eternity. Horrifying to think about. These kids constantly being messed with by this demon and never being let go of, all for their childlike innocence. It's just really scary. Really scary. And the fact that this demon is taking away the mouth and eyes of Kaylee and is getting the kid to stab himself, and then by the end of it is just repeatedly killing him. It sets the mood very well for this movie, and I think that it does a good job of capturing that creepy feel, that feeling of something just won't let go. Something won't leave you alone. There's something in the darkness that you can't see, and it's coming for you. And I think that that is ultimately what makes this movie so much more effective than other movies that I've seen. Granted, I do think this movie has its moments of dullness. I do not think this movie is nearly as creepy as it could have been. But I do still think it's creepy nonetheless. So guys, overall for the creep factor, I'm thinking it's a moderately creepy movie with a 2.5 out of 4 on the creep factor. So guys, with a 1.5 out of 2 on the quality and production, with a a 1.25 out of 2 on the realism, a 1.75 out of 2 on the gore score, and a 2.5 out of 4 on the creep factor, which brings Skinamarink to a 7 out of 10, which is a creepy rating. And I do think that that is justified with this movie. I think it's creepy. I just think that there are some detrimental flaws that keep it from being that 8, that 9, that 10. And I think that it does a decent job for what it's trying to be, but I do think that it needed some more work, especially just in terms of like condensing the movie, making it flow much better. And I'm just happy that it's an experimental horror film for sure. I'm happy I saw it. I just don't know if it's worth the rewatch if you ever wanted to talk about this movie kind of deal. And yeah, there you go. My name is Brendan Reviews. Have a great day, evening, night, whatever the fuck time you guys are watching this in. I'll see you all next time.